and it's rough, but it's mine. She opened a demo showing a sleek interface that streamlined real-time communication across platforms, text, video, even encrypted data transfers. It was intuitive, elegant, and eerily similar to a project his R&D team had been failing to crack for months. This is good, he said, his voice low. Really good. Why haven't you pitched this to someone if you're so smart? The Billionaire CEO mocked the waitress, but suddenly she left, him speechless. What if the smartest person in the room isn't the one wearing the suit? Stay with me, because this isn't just a story about business. It's about breaking barriers, unexpected genius, and how sometimes the people we overlook are the ones who change everything. Michael Langston was a man who thrived on control. At 42, he'd built Langston Enterprises into a tech juggernaut, its sleek devices and cutting-edge software defining the digital age. His tailored suits, sharp features, and piercing blue eyes commanded boardrooms where his impatience was as legendary as his success. But tonight, control was slipping. A $2 billion merger with a rival tech firm, Synergy Solutions, hinged on a 200-page contract dense with legal terms that baffled even his Ivy League lawyers. Deadlines loomed, competitors circled, and Michael's temper simmered. He needed a break. His driver suggested a diner just blocks from the office. A relic of a place called Rosie's, chipped formica tables and neon signs flickering in the window. Michael scoffed at the idea, but relented. He wasn't here to eat. He just needed somewhere to think, away from the sterile hum of his office. Inside Rosie's, the air smelled of coffee and fried onions. The jukebox played a soft Motown tune, and the handful of patrons, truck drivers, night shift nurses barely glanced at the man in the $5,000 suit. Michael slid into a booth, spreading the contract across the table, his pen slashed at incomprehensible clauses, frustration gnawing at him. Indemnification protocols, fiduciary contingencies, escrow stipulations. The words blurred into nonsense. Grace Harper, 28, watched him from behind the counter. She'd been at Rosie's for 3 years, her nimble hands juggling plates and pouring coffee with practiced ease. Her brown hair was pulled into a messy bun, and her green eyes held a quiet intensity, like someone who saw more than she let on. Grace had a knack for reading people. Years of serving strangers taught her to spot exhaustion, joy, or in Michael's case, barely contained rage. She approached his booth, her sneakers squeaking on the linoleum. "Rough night?" she asked, her voice warm but not intrusive. As she sat down a glass of water, Michael didn't look up. "You could say that." She glanced at the papers, their margins crowded with his angry notes. "Looks like a lot to handle. Want to talk it out? Sometimes saying it out loud helps." He snorted, finally meeting her gaze. "Unless you've got a law degree hiding under that apron, I don't think you'd get it." She tilted her head unfazed. "Try me." Translated into plain English. "If it's so hard, maybe a fresh pair of eyes can help." Michael's laugh was cold, edged with arrogance. "Oh, you're a genius now. Fine. If you're so smart, then translate it." He shoved the contract toward her, expecting her to flinch. She didn't. Instead, she picked up the document, her fingers brushing the pages with surprising care. Grace sat across from him, scanning the contract. Michael watched, half amused, half irritated, expected her to stumble too. Hand it back with an embarrassed shrug. But Grace's brow furrowed in concentration, her lips moving slightly as she read. She pulled a notepad from her apron and jotted notes, her handwriting small and precise. "Okay," she said, after a few minutes, her voice steady. "This section here, indemnification protocols. It's about who takes the blame if things go south. Say you're buying a car and it breaks down the next day. This clause decides if you're stuck with the repair bill or if the seller has to cover it. Her contract says Synergy Solutions wants you to eat most of the risk if their tech fails. Post-merger." Michael blinked. "That's actually not wrong." His tone was grudging, but curiosity flickered in his eyes. "Go on." She flipped to another page. This escrow stipulation is like putting money in a piggy bank that neither of you can touch until certain conditions are met.
Out.
They're asking for $500 million in escrow, which is steep. It's their safety net, but it ties up your cash flow. You could negotiate that down or add a clause to release funds in phases. Michael leaned forward, his skepticism wavering. Ow. Do you know this? Grace shrugged, her smile almost mischievous. I listen. People underestimate waitresses, but we hear everything. It's business deals, breakups, you name it. Plus, I've got a thing for puzzles. He wasn't convinced, but he let her. Continue. Over the next hour, Grace dismantled the contract's complexity with startling clarity. She didn't just simplify, she connected the dots, spotting risks his legal team had missed, like a clause that could let Synergy back out without penalty if Langston's stock dipped below a certain threshold. She suggested counterclauses, her explanations grounded in analogies that made the abstract tangible. It's like signing a lease for an apartment but leaving a loophole for the landlord to kick you out without notice. Michael's arrogance began to crack. This wasn't just a waitress with a knack for words. There was something deeper. Logic, intuition, a mind that cut through noise like a blade. Who are you? He asked half to himself. Grace hesitated, then set the contract down. It's just someone who's good at figuring things out. You done mocking me yet? He didn't answer, but his silence was answer enough. The diner emptied as midnight approached, leaving just Michael, Grace, and the hum of the jukebox. He pushed the contract aside, his curiosity now fully on her. You're not just a waitress, are you? Grace wiped the counter, her movements deliberate. I'm a lot of things, waitress, sister, daughter. I was a computer science major for a while, but life had other plans. My mom got sick, and my brother was struggling. Someone had to pay the bills. Her voice was matter-of-fact, but there was a weight behind it. I've been teaching myself since then. Coding mostly keeps my brain busy. Michael leaned back, reassessing her. Coding like what? She hesitated, then pulled out her phone. I've been working on something, an app. Grace laughed softly. Who's going to take a waitress seriously? I don't have a degree or a fancy resume. It's just code I write at 2 a.m. after my shifts. Michael's mind raced. Langston Enterprises was bleeding market share to competitors with better communication tech. Grace's app could be a game changer. But more than that, her ability to think, to see through complexity, to innovate under pressure was something his polished executives lacked. You're wrong, he said finally. Someone would take you seriously. I would. Grace raised an eyebrow, skeptical. You? The guy who called me sweetheart and told me to stick to coffee? He winced. Fair point. I was an ass. But I'm not stupid. You've got something. Special, Grace. Let me help you build it. Resources, funding, a team, you name it. She studied him, her expression unreadable. Why should I trust you? You don't even know me. 'Cause I know talent when I see it, he said, his voice earnest for the first time. And because you just saved my deal, let me return the favor. Over the next week, Michael couldn't shake the encounter. He finalized the synergy deal using Grace's insights to negotiate better terms, saving his company millions. But his thoughts kept drifting to her app, her mind, her story. He returned to Rosie's, this time without a contract, just a proposal, a partnership to develop her app under Langston's umbrella, with Grace as lead developer. Grace was wary, but intrigued. She agreed on her terms. She'd keep her job at Rosie's until the app launched, and she wanted a say in how it was built. Michael, unused to being challenged, found himself respecting her more for it. As they worked together, Michael saw the world through Grace's eyes, a world of late-night coding sessions, scraping by, dreams deferred but never abandoned. She introduced him to her family, her mother recovering but frail, her brother a teenager with big dreams and bigger doubts. Michael, who'd long viewed success as a solo climb, began to see the strength in community, in resilience born of necessity. The app named ConnectSphere launched 6 months later to critical acclaim. It wasn't just a product, it was a lifeline. It's making communication faster and safer for businesses and individuals alike. Grace became a rising Star in tech, her story inspiring others who'd been overlooked. She started a scholarship fund for working-class students, ensuring others, like her, could finish what she'd started. Michael, too, changed. He overhauled Langston's hiring, seeking talent in unexpected places. Community colleges, small towns, diners. He never forgot the lesson Grace taught him. Brilliance doesn't need a pedigree. It just needs a chance. Years later, Michael sat in Rosie's again, this time as a regular. Grace was there, not as a waitress, but as a guest, celebrating Keysphere's latest update. The diner was packed. The jukebox played on, and the air buzzed with possibility. Michael raised a coffee mug and a toast. To underestimating people, he said with a rare smile. Grace clinked her mug against his. To proving them wrong. As they laughed, the city outside hummed on, unaware of the quiet revolution sparked in a diner booth. It wasn't just about an app or a deal. It was about seeing people, really seeing them, and realizing the world was bigger and brighter than any boardroom could contain.